Hey there. So this was the question that I was asking about uh, yesterday. Yesterday we were asking, or I asked you this question. That is, do you think that we are entitled to the same amount of agony, no matter the decisions we make or what decisions we basically take? And just to give you some sort of background or context, yesterday this message was probably at like I don't know 9:30 or something, or it was very early. Like I woke up and I drank a cup of tea. Okay, a black tea. Okay, not the green tea, not the matcha tea, just the regular black tea. And what I usually have with my tea is that I get a lot of meta thinking, which is different from thinking because in thinking you just think about something, but meta thinking you think about your thoughts. Basically, you analyze your thoughts. And the thought that I had then was that I was sad because I had an exam, as you remember, and I was thinking that maybe if I went and actually took my engineering degree, if I really insisted on taking it, maybe then I would be much happier. But then this was the thought, okay? Just so you're aware, this was the thought. But then I got another thought, and this is what I tell you, the meta thought, okay? The thought that is above the thought, actually, or me trying to analyze the thought. And I was thinking, well, what if, even if I took engineering, this engineering degree, I would still have the same amount of sadness or the same amount of misery, is what I'm trying to say. So if it was a different decision, right, whether it was a medicine degree or an engineering degree, I would be still having the same amount of agony or sadness, okay? For example, if I was having 50 levels of sadness that I was determined to have by some supernatural force, and I'm not trying to say that, God, for example, because we might have differences on this, but if, for example, I was entitled to 50 units of sadness, okay, no matter what decisions I take, for example, if I go on a certain path or take certain transport to university, I'm just trying to give out some simple examples. I will still have these examples. So, for example, if you're taking the transport example, okay, so for example, I decide that I go on bus, okay, go by bus rather than going basically on foot. Just imagine that these are my foot. I will still have these 50 amounts of sadness just distributed in a certain way. So, for example, if I take the bus, the 50 will be distributed in like 10 is the price. For example, there is 30, that is the, I don't know, the sadness, or not sadness, the discomfort of sitting next to someone, perhaps, and then there is maybe 10 degrees of sadness in some way that I'm not really very. I didn't think about this example actually. This just came out of my mind. But then I would have still the same 50 levels, even if I took a certain or a different decision. For example, my food, I will have 30 levels of sadness because my feet will basically hurt. Okay, maybe there will be 10 that I will be a little bit late. Okay, maybe there will be another 10 in a way that maybe the terrain is not so level and I might, for example, hurt my leg, for example. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe you can think of an example which is more serious than your transports. Maybe it's an example, maybe in your life, okay, or in your job. I just want you to think about this and tell me what are your thoughts, okay? That's all.